Well, let's go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. They know mortgages so well, and they are a mortgage broker. They're not a bank. So you want to deal with a mortgage broker when you're going to go get your loan because they can shop a variety of different lenders. They're up on what's going on in the marketplace. They're very customer service oriented, and it can just help you deal with what for most people is a big major investment and a lot of stress. They try their best to get rid of a lot of that stress for their borrowers. FHA, VA, conventional loans, they do it all, and you can find them in person at 114th and Davenport at the office or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. Well, Trenton, we are Grow Omaha, but just because we're in favor of growing the city doesn't mean that we don't enjoy some good demolition. I've always thought demo is pretty darn cool.
Yeah, it is.
And the W. Dale Clark Library is going down almost as fast as the straw house blown over by the big bad wolf. I mean, this thing is going down fast.
And we're running out of examples, which is probably best, of brutalism architecture. It's actually called brutalism. Hard to believe.
Yeah, so he's talking about the design of the W. Dale Clark building, which I don't, there are a lot of buildings that we've torn down in Omaha's past that I look back and it's almost devastating that we've done it. I don't think the W. Dale Clark Library will ever be one of them. And some people will say, well, just give it a little bit more time. If it gets a little bit older, then you'll come to appreciate it because we appreciate old buildings. But
like shag carpeting?
Just something about libraries that were built to look like prisons that don't appeal to me. But speaking of which, if you could pull back any building from Omaha's let's say downtown Omaha's past that was demolished, and you could bring it back to life, rechange history so that it was never demolished, I've got a couple of candidates. Do you have one in mind?
Well, I just think one. I think that they did a great tribute to, and that was in the Winter Gardens at First National Bank of Omaha, where they did the arches, the terracotta, the 15-story medical arts building, which is in the glass atrium. It's kind of cool because you can that's actually the old building that they took all that down and rebuilt it.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of a nice tribute. Other than that, there's a guy named Frank Horishi who actually took that down, and Seedorf Masonry put it back up. But Frank has things from Peony Park, a lot of the Federal Reserve, and stones and fixtures, and there's parts of demolished buildings that still exist.
Yeah, that is true. But so if go back to my original question, if I could save a couple, here are a couple that come to mind. Number one, the old Woodman of the World building. This sat on the site that is now, no offense, but in my opinion, a hideously ugly 3-story state office building. They tore down the old Woodman.
The red brick.
Yeah, the Woodman of the World life insurance building. I believe early 20th century was the construction. It came down around, let's say, 1977-ish, give or take a year. And this thing was 18 stories tall. For a while, it was the tallest building in the state. And at 18 stories, that would still be noticeable. It's a cool looking building. The other one that I think is a real shame that we've taken down was the Hotel Fontanelle, which was up on the hill a little bit closer towards Central High School.
Who owned that?
What's that?
You know who owned the Fontanelle?
Was it Gene Epley?
Very good.
Yeah, no, I know my Omaha history pretty good.
So we've talked about it about 10 years ago on this show. We've been on for a while. Gene Epley was one of the largest hoteliers in the world back before there was big chains and things like that. But Gene Epley, if you look him up, he had a lot of hotels.
Well, the old W. Dale Clark Library was definitely not the Woodman of the World building or the Hotel Fontanelle. So fortunately, that's on its way out. If you want to see, if you like a little bit of demo, though, get down because it's going really fast. And then, of course, for those of you that don't listen to us regularly, you wouldn't know that the reason it's coming down is for the new Mutual of Omaha skyscraper. More demolition news. There's not much left of the old Monroe Meyer Institute on the UNMC campus. That, of course, is coming down to make way for Project Nex. What was that?
By Saddle Creek.
Yeah, Farnham and Saddle Creek. So going down fast there as well. The former J.P. Lord School that was there is long gone. So that site is being cleared for Project Next, coming along pretty nicely. Also downtown, the brick exterior is starting to go on the future Moxie by Marriott Hotel. That really just completes that part of the old market when it's done.
Not bad for what, 3-4 years?
Boy, it sure has taken forever to get that thing started. Every once in a while, there'll be a hotel project. And for some reason, it seems like it's hotels. And they'll be, we're not talking about a 40-story Hyatt or something like that. We're just talking about, more of a limited service hotel. Every once in a while, some of them will just take years. Like that one at Saddle Creek and Dodge, Home 2 Suites by Hilton. That one, to me, felt like it took forever for that one to go up. And some of these hotels just are slow movers. Okay, moving right along, speaking of hotels, we've got a Microtel that is planned for an empty lot in the Southport West area of La Vista. For those of you that aren't sure exactly what that is, think Cabela's and Embassy Suites. There's a 3-story building right along Interstate 80.
That I lease that has 6,100 square feet. Could have a drive-through.
Thank you. And an empty lot next to that, and then a Hooters restaurant next to that. This Microtel is slated for that empty lot.
So it probably doesn't have a restaurant in it, but you got Hooters next door.
And that's part of quite a few new developments coming for that Southport area, Trent.
Right. You pull in, there's going to be a Starbucks right there in the corner. Then there's a strip center. I'm not sure of any tenants they have there. I think they might have one drive-through there. It's coming up nicely. And then across you got that Microtel, and then call it east, if you will. There's 4 more pad sites, and then there's going to be Smash Park, which we've talked about, has been published. It's a 3-acre site, 25,000 square foot building. People have heard of a Chicken and Pickle or whatever it's called, which is, I don't know if that's Kansas City or where that's from, but this is out of Des Moines. They've got multiple locations now. Smash Park will be, it's basically a giant bar, restaurant, sports bar, but family oriented with games and things like that. And apparently, if you do a new business or whatever you do, it could be have an office building, whatever. If you don't have pickleball courts, you're nothing.
Well, I noticed that the 88 Tactical billboard on Interstate 80 said pickleball coming soon. So, it's not enough to have a gun shooting area. You got to have pickleball as well.
They're talking about having a swimming pool in the next phase. They're going to have outside ice skating rink, and the second phase is almost done, and they're talking about a third phase already. So I have not seen pickleball being played in person.
You haven't?
No. Have you played?
No, but I've had a beer standing next to some people that were playing. I actually went to the original Smash Park in Des Moines, Iowa, a few weeks ago, and it was a fun place. I'm looking forward to the Omaha location opening in Southport.
I heard that, I think it was LeBron James and some other celebrity are investing in like professional pickleball teams.
Yeah, that is true. Could you imagine playing pickleball against LeBron James? That would be like an ugly. In fact, he's so tall he can like reach the net from the back line.
Yeah, his reach would be a little farther.
Would be an unfair advantage. Also in that Southport area, if you go to the Southport East side, and of course, this is the 126 Giles exit, Interstate 80, Southport East. A couple news items there. Some land has gone. PayPal is putting up some land for sale.
A little over 7 acres.
Mm-hmm.
Right between a development that I did and PayPal's first building. I don't know if it's on the market yet, but I know it's going on the market. Either their second building is either for sale or for lease, and I'm not sure about the first building, but it's pretty much a skeleton crew. People are working from home. Okay,
it was my understanding, this could be wrong, but it's my understanding they were going to keep the first original building and then sell the second or lease it, and then they owned that land, right? Didn't PayPal
absolutely, yeah. And they wouldn't. I tried to see if they'd sell it and things like that, but I've done more deals over there than any broker and some developers, and it's really active. And I went over there yesterday, Jeff, and I took some pictures. The Nebraska Multi-Sports Complex is finally, after I sold it 7 years ago, 184 acres.
Has it been that long?
Oh, yeah. And they've got like 5 or 6 fields already done. The lights are up. I know that they practice. I'm not sure if they're playing games or not, but they're striped and everything else, and it looks great. Drive by. It's approximately 120th and Giles Road, and very excited for them. The restrooms and concessions are going up. A lot of activity in that area. There's 2 more hotels planned for across the street. There's 2 hotels planned by Cabela's too. We talked about one, and there's another one. So that's 4 more hotels in that immediate area. I believe it was the city council, I think on Tuesday, approved in La Vista the enhanced employment area, which means that it's a way to raise money to pay for a lot of those improvements, the public improvements and stuff in the multi-sport complex. And so it's basically it's called GBOT, or occupation tax, and it's like a 2% tax that when people buy things or room nights or whatever, and it'll go towards improvements.
Well, it's a good thing they're building all those hotels in the Southport area, because with all of that activity that's going to take place on the multi-sports fields, they're going to need them. I mean, youth sports is a big-time, multi-billion-dollar business, and it's good to see that the metro area is getting more into it. And by the way, I can attest that a lot of those artificial turf fields are completed. And while I maybe shouldn't say this on the radio, my son and I have already been on them throwing the ball around a couple Sundays ago. And so, yeah, they're very nice, very high ququality fields. They're great. I'm not sure that was
seal of approval.
Yeah, I'm not sure our participation on those fields was quite authorized,
right.
But we did it nonetheless.
I think that's why they just put up that fence.
Good thinking. And that's your news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.